It's your boy Concert Viz 34, and I am going to be talking about the Dave Matthews Band again. I know I've been away for a bit talking about some other things, but I want to take 10 different kind of ideas or moments from leg one of this 2018 summer tour for the Dave Matthews Band and kind of give some highlights and credit. It was a great first half of the tour, and it is over, and we're going to be getting ready in a couple weeks for the second leg of this summer 18 tour. What have I been doing since the band took the time off from leg one? Well, I'll be going to some sporting events, including Yankees Red Sox last Sunday. My Yankees got swept, is what it is. Been listening to some Chris Stapleton and Sturgill Simpson. Why I didn't listen to these artists before, it befuddles me, but wow, these guys really, this is real country music, and I am in love with it. And I have been listening to them the last couple months as well, getting ready for Farm Aid, but I've been listening to them heavy the last 2 or 3 weeks especially, and man, especially Chris Stapleton, that boy and his wifey, they can play. But let's talk about 10 different moments from the Dave Matthews Band leg one of this summer 18 tour. And I'll talk about the moment that I think the fans like the most. And to me, I'll talk about the moment that to me is the best moment, the most surprising moment, and supersedes the moment most fans think is the best. We're going to go with number one is going to be SPAC Night 1, the Raven tour debut and new intro. This is amazing to have the jazz, the soul back into this band. Leroy, rest in peace, Leroy Moore. He brought that, and he was able to bring that to a lot of the music that is acoustic bass and rock bass, learning from Branford Marsalis, playing on Sting's album back in the 80s. He really learned from that type of playing. But we get Buddy Strong with a nice, strong intro to Raven. That's going to be number one of this list. Again, no particular order. And then but moment number one is that Raven intro. Moment number two is from the same show. It is the Seek Up from SPAC Night 1, July 13th, 2018. This is another great moment. I love this because the horns are not being absurdly loud, trying to yell at each other at the beginning. There's more of a mellow vibe. Now, the one negative you could say is it doesn't have Dave wailing as loud as he used to be, but it was nice to get that change of pace. And again, it was nice to have the horns not having this screaming contest. These guys are talented, Jeff and Rashawn. But over the years, the issue I've had with Seek Up in the last 5 years or so is instead of, there's purposeless like loud noises against each other at the beginning of the song, where I like when the song slowly builds up to that breakdown of Dave screaming and yelling and wailing. So amazing that this Seek Up was more mellow. You had Buddy having some fills, which was awesome as well. Number three, we're going to have the JTR Liberation. I was in the building for SPAC Night 2, July 14, 2018, when JTR was liberated. And it was just like, what, bruh, huh? Like there were times earlier in the tour where it would be raining heavily, especially that was Bristol. And also you had a couple other shows. But they didn't play JTR. Fans were on social media, hey, maybe they'll play JTR. But no, they didn't. But then they busted out for SPAC Night 2. And the other thing I want to add with this is kind of a 2-for-1. Number three here is not just JTR, but the liberation of Lillywhite session music like you never know. Well, that was liberated earlier in the year, but it got more plays from the full band, which was awesome. You have Captain, which again, I apologize for my video. I ruined the video I took by singing horribly over it, but Another great moment that Captain is back. And just in general, you have between Raven and JTR and Captain, and then the bartender Big Eye Fish, which we'll get to in a moment. It was nice to see the Lillywhite session songs getting love. Number 4, we're going to go to the first show I saw this year, Xfinity Center, Mansfield, Massachusetts, July 22nd. We have the So Damn Lucky outro. This was an awesome outro because it was different. It was mixed up. And go ahead and listen to that, and I'll have a link here after this video is posted and saved for a lot of these different moments. But check out that moment. It was just a cool, different outro that was more jazzy and funky and groovy and upbeat, and I loved it. Next, we're going to get to number 5, which is Funny the Way It Is. I'm picking the first time it was played with Mr. Strong, which was May 19, 2018. That's in Dallas, Texas. But the Dallas version and some of the versions later on shows you how great the progression of the band is. Different effects are used by Buddy for the latter versions of Funny the Way It Is in this leg 1. But the first version is more of a keys-based jam where where Tim Reynolds usually has that solo spot 1 for that song after they have the 2 verses. Jeff still has it. I keep saying Jeff. Tim still has his moment later in the songs, but what makes this great is Funny the Way It Is has been overplayed since it's been released. And there's been some great intros and all that stuff, don't get me wrong, but it's a song that's newer, but it was played. The Big Whiskey era songs that got played heavily were played heavily in this last decade. But it was nice to have, a keys and a modulated effect version of these songs, just like in Dallas and the later versions. Number 6, we're going to go, even though we talked about the Lillywhite sessions, July 27th, 2018, we get a fish tender out there in Florida, and that is the Big Eye Fish to bartender combination in order. Now, back when I went to SPAC Night 2, we had Big Eye Fish and bartender in different spots. They weren't consecutively, but this is the first fish tender that we get of this tour, and for a while. It had been some years since we got both of these songs back to back for the full band. And what is awesome about this is the ending of this fish tender. You have the penny whistle which always brings me back to Leroy. It makes me think about him. And then you have Buddy Strong say, no, we ain't done yet, fam. And he continues through with some nice keys. The band gets hyped up again because Buddy Strong just does that to all these musicians who are like, yeah, we like this keys player. And the band gets turned up again, and then they finally end it. But what a nice fish tender. Next, what we're going to get into, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is number 7. This is just a general change. And this general change that I like for this year is the stand-up songs that are being played. They got Mr. Strong vocally and on the keys, musically and with the instruments he can play. He is making these stand-up songs a lot better with him there, and he's doing interpolations of other songs and different stuff that he's done on the stand-up songs. It has been great to have Mr. Strong and the band have revamped versions of these stand-up songs, which the original versions of these songs, it's cool. It was cool for that moment, but they're much better with Buddy, and it brings more energy to the songs. So I like that. And then we're going to go to number 8, another general change, but you can pick your show. This is going to be the When the World Ends intro. If you have DMB radio, if you have Sirius XM radio, and you've been listening to some of these Friday shows, we got a show from Ohio. I think that was 6/2/18 on June 2nd, 2018. You got to hear this Friday, and if the replays you can listen to when they come on or on demand. It was nice to see this When the World Ends intro with Mr. Strong again on the keys, just killing it and doing something different than the standard When the World Ends intro. So I love that. Another general change that I like is Sledgehammer getting lots of plays here for, compared to its average. The average tour, Sledgehammer usually isn't played, and it's getting a lot of plays this year compared to the average, and I like that. I love Sledgehammer. Just listened to it on my run yesterday, the Peter Gabriel Live in Athens joint. That is my favorite version of the song. Some DMB fans are like, no, DMB plays it better than Peter Gabriel. Get out of here. Get the F out of here. Okay. The Peter Gabriel Live in Athens Sledgehammer version is amazing. That whole album, definitely check it out. Peter Gabriel Live in Athens. Just an amazing live album. And then this is going to be the fan favorite for most fans, but July 7th, 2018, this is number 10. Two-step tour debut at Deer Creek for the full band. Now, they played at CMAC. Dave and Tim played two-step, and that was a show, one-off show in the middle of the tour. But the most talked about moment, I think, of the tour was the two-step tour debut and the 20-minute version of two-step, and the band going crazy at the end of that two-step. Definitely a nice moment for the band, and I think this is, if you were to do a poll, this would be the biggest moment of the summer so far. Now, here's where I want to talk about I think the best moment of the tour, in my opinion. It's the JTR Liberation. Now, again, it's not closing out a set like the two-step tour debut. It's not closing out an encore like the two-step, that same show. But to me, it was so shocking to get JTR. You didn't think it was going to realistically be played. People yell it out, JTR, Monkey Man. They want to hear these songs that they want to hear. But the odds just were against this song being liberated. We had a lot of great songs that have been played this tour. I didn't think JTR was going to be played, but it was played. And in the moment of being at that show, which I talked about in previous reviews and videos, I'm just chilling there. Like, I know it's going to be great at SPAC Night 2. I'm probably going to get say goodbye. Maybe we get a Halloween. Maybe we get this or that. That's realistic. But when the JTR chords started to play at the beginning, when Dave's playing that 12 string, it took a while for my brain to process. JTR? We got JTR? Oh, like, it was just an amazing moment. And to hear that song, and to me, that is my favorite moment. And I think that's the best moment of the tour to me, because here's why. Two-step was played last full band tour. Two-step was played. It's played every year, okay? And the version of it was amazing, but it's a song that is played heavily. It got played, and I heard it back in the two-set era. I heard two-step acoustically, and I heard two-step in the full band. I don't know if it was 2014 or 15, but in both years I heard two-step acoustically for the two sets. But two-step is played so much. It's not a rare song for the band to play. And I think that's why I would rather have fans yelling Halloween than yelling two-step. If you're going to go and demand the band play something, make them play something rare. Again, two-step, an amazing song. Don't get me wrong. With Boyd, without Boyd, it's a great song. But it was played earlier in the tour. When it was played Deer Creek, night 2. It was already played at CMAC. It's been played last year with Dave and Tim. A song like JTR, it hasn't been played since 2013. When I last heard it, and I didn't hear the last version in 2013, but I heard it in Hartford. But JTR just was such more of a liberation, and a good liberation. Yeah, you had some stand-up songs that may have went further back into when it was played last. But JTR, to me, was just a great song to hear. People got it later on in the tour a couple more times. I think there was 2 more plays. I'll have to check that. But that was, to me, the highlight of this tour. That when you get that, and I know, and same with Bartender and Big Eye Fish, those were also great. It was nice to get the Fish Tender together. But JTR debuting at SPAC was just a moment like, whoa. you knew eventually you were gonna get two-step. Let's be honest, it was gonna be played at the Gorge, even if they avoided the entire rest of the tour. But you did. No one could have told you realistically. They could have dreamed and hoped about it and yelled it out. But that JTR at the beginning of the beginning of the set too. Not the first song, so you don't get it right away, but it's just like, all right, you get this first song and boom, JTR. That's, to me, that's all I'll say. But let me know what you guys think. There's many other moments, mid-set gray streets that have been going. That's just a thing that I've liked changed. There's been some other things that have gone on. Pig has been amazing, and the Stone being played, even though it's played every year. I always love the Stone. And the newer songs, the newer songs here on out, with the Dave solo, Come On, Come On, Come Tomorrow comes to mind. And I'll make a video, I think, hopefully with this break now, I'll try to make a video ranking the live versions of Come Tomorrow songs. Because that'll be an interesting topic. But that's all I got for today. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. What are your favorite moments? What are your 10 favorite moments? And what is the moment of the summer for you? I'm sure a lot of you guys will say the two-step for Deer Creek or two-step for SPAC. But I'm sticking with JTR. That, to me, that was the moment. All right, that's all I got today. I'm out.